All right, y'all. Welcome back. Welcome back to Crest Coast Tattoos. We got another critique coming to you all from Drewby, a loyal viewer that be on the live stream. So if y'all be on YouTube, Kick, Twitch, and that, y'all hop on the live stream and ask people to send in some pictures, videos, whatever it is, so we can critique the tattoos, try to help each other grow in the meantime. So appreciate you, Drewby. Let's get to these critiques. All right, Drewby, we're gonna start this one out with the hand tat that you sent. And I know hand tattoos is real tough. You know that, especially that black on the finger is real tough. But one thing I'll say, like compared to that top of the money bag, just watch your shades because I don't know what shade. If you use all black, I would prefer you probably use all black on the fingers to make sure it stand out. Because hand tattoos definitely got a thing and they known for fading. So watch them knuckles. Like make sure you have somebody like ball their fist when you actually pressing in those knuckles. So that's definitely known for fade. And the side of that hand known for fade. Look like you did all these tattoos the same day. And one thing, I don't know if you was going for, but like how you outlined that smoke. If you know how to actually just shade around the smoke, because as you see, like right up in here, you could have just shaded around, look like you stopped lining. But all the rest of it looked like it pretty much got like an outline around it. And then you shaded from there. Let me know if you did in the comments. If you did do that, if you shaded it and then you outlined it, if you outlined it and then came back and shaded it. So let's see anything else. Well, basic like line work, as you see right there. You don't really have to zoom in, but you see like the little bumps in the rope. Good that you did try to go for that detail in there. But also in the bags. See if you would just outline. A good thing to do is take that same black or that dark, just create a darker shadow right by that line. And you can leave a highlight at the top so you can see that separation and that shadow at the bottom. Same thing with the money bag. By this dark, this part of the bag, this shadow could have been a lot more darker. See, even this shadow up here is darker, but this one probably faded. But yeah, you can go darker because it is close to the knuckles, and you gotta expect it to fade. And also here, I don't know if you outlined it, but you see, the outline is kind of gone, probably faded out. But see how you got that one in that solid, and this one, they two different line weights. And you gotta watch that. That line weight, when you go up, it kind of just shade and it fades off. Versus this is just like barely there, and you lose that. See how you lose that smoke also. So it's a lot of things that I want you to look out for. Main thing you gotta focus on is that line work. Whether if you gotta do something on his hand, real bold lines, give it the bold lines. Since you already know it's an expectation that it's gonna come out. No telling you ain't got no control over how somebody washing their hands, how they taking care of their hand, how much ointment they slapping on their hands. So you gotta expect it to fade. Even if somebody's taking care of completely perfect, it's still a hand. It's gonna hit things, it's gonna get wet. So you gotta expect it to fade out. But appreciate your Drew. We about to be moving on to your next one, but I like how you do got this red and the name in there. That's clean, no lie. I'll say just by looking at it, that red look clean, but be expecting it to fade. I just don't know how you got that part of the hand. I understand this heel too. How you got that part of the hand like lighter. And also doing this, if you're gonna add outlines, make sure you add them bold outlines. I see these outlines. It's about the same that you put in the inside of the fingers. And you want to definitely make sure this bold. If you don't do outlines, I would just say go super bold with the shading. Hard bold with the shading. Because you see right here, you still got breaks in between the black. So even on the part of the hand, even though it's a glare there, you expect that it wouldn't be solid black once it heals. Because it's already known for lightening up, but it won't be a solid feel. Like this heel, it's a little more solid. It gets a little more rougher on the outsides. But definitely make sure this solid black. I go at straight solid black. I don't try to do nothing else. But if anything else is bad, like on the tattoo or anything else is wrong, the main thing you definitely want to focus on, this symbol. I know people then had money bag tattoos, but this symbol is like been faded away, and you don't know it's a money bag. The only time you will know it's a money bag is with this symbol. So make sure you definitely emphasize on that symbol. Don't make it too bold. You just want to make sure it's solid to where it's there. You don't want it to fade off. Like I said, even if the bottom or the knuckles have a ball it up and take that 7 round line and like poke dots, like poke it, like you making a line, but you're going at a poking pace, like a stick and poke pace with your machine. that tend to help it stick a little bit longer versus just regular lining. It's just lining on top of that skin, and it's going to definitely fall out. This was another use in Druby. So one thing I'll say for sure, it's the line work. Like I said, always focus on that line work. That's one thing how you got. You can't press enough your line work. Because even if you got bad shading, your line work still would like super succeed your shading. Like, oh, that's clean. But if your line work is off, and then you try to come with shading, and your shading off, it's not gonna work. Now, mind you, just straight up looking at the tattoo, oh, glance, oh yeah, it's a tattoo. But immediately you can see that it's not solid black. You can see that, oh, some of the lines are a little bit off. So I don't know if it'd be something with your stencil that you're not filing it to a T, or did you draw it on? Because you see this right here, it's not the same swoop as if you was going for this side. I don't know if you just drew it on the paper and did it like this. But the main thing is, I don't really care about too much of geometrical or symmetrical. I mainly care about solid lines, solid black. That's what's gonna hold your tattoo up over time. And one other thing that pops out about this tattoo, I'll definitely say is this. This tail, this part of this body is real big. I think it could have been the same size as this one. Cut it off right there. So that body, or a nice thin body, but this almost feels like it's a way too big. Another thing that feels like it's way too big because it's bold is that because it went out thin, make a little small little loop on the ends, made it a little bold. But just watch these line work though. See that? How that's thin, get a little thick, thin, thick. What I do is go around the whole tattoo, boom, 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 all around the tattoo, make sure that's solid. Make sure all of them solid. Make sure you do all that. And then you could come inside real thin. Even if you have to switch to a 3-round liner, you can switch to your 3-round liner to do the inside. But I would normally do it all with the 7-round liner. But I think line weights play a big important part of a tattoo. It definitely would have differentiated from like background, stuff like that. Or new school design versus realistic. This I'll say we'll be going for realistic because it's not really no hard bold lines. Besides what you packed in. But let me know what you shaded in with though. Because I see you ain't go back and tighten up your circles. When you're shading in something like this, make sure you just go back and tighten around them circles. You probably hit the outlines on the circles, but you might have just started shading. This side, you look like you started shading. This side, like you outlined and then came with shade. But let me know. It's always good to try different methods to see what might work for you. But watch that solid and then that light. Make sure they kind of balance out with each other. You ain't got to be super symmetrical like the proportions of it, but I still try to be symmetrical with that line weight, keep that all balanced. Let me know if that makes sense to you, Druby. If you got any comments, comment down below. Anybody else got comments, comment down below. And don't forget, if y'all got some images y'all want to send in, send them in. So this another one Druby sent. Like I said, Druby just watch them lines. You got some of the lines in there, but some of them will definitely fall out. Like you see it get real thin on some of the edges, it get a little bit lost. And also how bold this is, you see how you came on the inside? Make sure the outside stay bold. You come on the inside with a little bit of thinner shading. Just how thin this line is, even though you would want that to be thick. But you come inside the flower with them thinner lines to kind of structure it out. Same thing right with the leaves. Have them bold, but the inside, real thin. Real thin. If you're going to do on the outline, you definitely got to make sure some parts is bold, some parts is thin to differentiate so it don't just look like all together. You want them little thin lines on the inside to emphasize like, okay, it's the detail of the flower. But by being so dark, it's like, oh, it's a flower, like, but it don't feel elegant, I would say, like soft. Them hard lines on the inside, it's gonna make your tattoo feel hard. So anybody listening to this, they'll definitely know inside of the thing, you gotta definitely make them soft. And another thing you want to watch out for, you see how these came with these stems out? They sprouting out in this same little space where they only got like maybe a half an inch in between them. In a tattoo like this, you don't want to make them that close together. Sprout some out this way, sprout some out like that. You could have put like an inch, not an inch, a half an inch, or a quarter inch in between each one of the roots coming out. But by them all closed in, 10 years from now, it might look all black because the ink has to spray it under the skin. That's one thing you want to look out for. Now this one was nice right here. Just straight looking at it, of course, yeah, it's nice. But like I said, I know it's a smaller round needle. Probably what you use the 3. Let me know what size you use on there. But you gotta watch like the insides. Yeah, I start getting lost. You got bigger scales and they coming out. Cause I done made this mistake plenty of times. So don't feel bad about it. It's all a learning experience. But yeah, you see how the scale start getting smaller, like as if you probably lost a stencil and you just started creating some scales. That's pretty much with that. But one thing I would have did with this, I'll say, you could have kept the outside of the body. See how this is? It's a little off. It's not completely clean. Keep the outside of that body, that bowl, and them scales could have been thin in the inside. I just was talking about the importance of the inside being thin to show them fine lines versus the outside being bold to differentiate it. Now this one was nice right here. I would say it definitely was solid. Y'all can see that. Bring that down, yeah. So this one definitely was like solid, clean. Just looking at it off the bat, which of course I see like little hiccups here and there, but don't stress it too much. And watch this E on the end. So you see how you did that first E? You could easily like copy paste, use it for the second E to kind of get it to flow. It flows like this, but you see it's a little bit, don't give it as much of an E. But just by reading it, you can see it's supposed to be just breathing. But definitely watch out for that. And also in this area, you see how bold that is? I don't know if you applied more pressure or what that you did, or you went over it more, but just UST is way bolder than the RETH. A little of that boldness came over to the B. But one thing I'll say about that, just try to be consistent. Keep them lines around the same weight. Or even if it was just on the whole just, and then the breed would have been thinner. At least it would have been more like intentional, like you tried to do that. Versus like, it feel like it's here and there, so it get a little bit confusing. But keep it up, keep it up. And this one right here, it kind of threw me off because the other one was like clean. I don't know if you did this part, but it just looked at like bold, as if it was like you went through it a little bit faster. Like I said, practice them lines. Lines is important. That's the main thing I stress. Them lines. And also, I've been saying in a lot of your tattoos, I don't know if there's blood inside the second skin, but make sure you clean it down, pat it dry, make sure the skin is not oozing no ink before you put on the second skin. Because the whole purpose is to keep the ink and all that contained where it's not as fluids and all that in it. Over time, people leave it on long and it will build up to all those fluids underneath. But normally you wouldn't see no fluids underneath your second skin. So definitely keep the skin dry and then put on your second skin. I know it said that on the directions when I was reading it. Even though I rarely use the fake skin though. But yeah, though, Drew, keep it up though. Yep. And I'm willing to help anybody that need the help. I'm about to, like I said, I'm gonna be start critiquing my own tattoos as well. So we're gonna be going over all my mistakes, everything I did, and what I'll change up because I know I definitely make them, and I get caught in a rock and a hard place, especially when it's like it's not my style. Matter of fact, Nisi she on another viewer on the channel, she brought it up with the Polynesian, like tribal is not my style. I just try to go for the clean lines. But the patterns is not me, but I just gotta replicate of how Polynesian style tattoo look. And that's basically what you gotta do. But the main thing is clean lines. If your lines is off, it's gonna feel like your whole tattoo is off. You can have smooth shading, but it's gonna feel like the tattoo is still off. And watch the bold line. Remember, if I can't say nothing else, I'm gonna say make sure you all tattoo from for the future. 5, 10 years, even the 20 years coming out of line. Because as you see right here, with them thicker lines inside of there, over time, I guarantee you, all this gonna start to get together and be blended out like this. It's gonna look dark. You're not gonna really be able to read those lines. So when you're doing a tattoo like that, just come with a smaller liner, make those thin lines. So when it heals, guess what? You're gonna see those thin lines. All this boldness is not gonna come together and make it look like as if you shaded it in. But to everybody that's watching, I want to definitely appreciate y'all. Appreciate everybody that come on the stream, all the support. I just want to make sure that we all continue to grow and not slacking at all. Because I used to catch myself slacking. But guess what? I'm trying to stay consistent, stay productive while we're on the stream. And all due to you all. I appreciate you all. Because I try to keep the time up there. Make sure we're productive the whole time unless I got to take a break. Stand up. Ain't nothing wrong with standing up, taking a break. But don't catch yourself strolling, doing all this online, none of that. Because sometimes I catch myself doing it. I'm like, no, I'm supposed to be answering messages. Let me not get on the phone and catch myself stroll. No, answer the messages because you'll forget what you were supposed to be doing. We all have been there, done that. So goal is y'all stay productive, stay productive. The more you do it, the easier it get. Not saying it's not gonna take no effort, but it will be a lot more easier. Like a tattoo like this, in the beginning it might take 30 minutes to an hour, maybe longer. But as you do it more and more, you might knock it out within 25 minutes. Them 30 minutes will be more efficient time for something like this. But if you like not putting that time in, your time's not gonna get a little bit faster because you're not practicing. The more you're practicing, you're gonna become like clockwork. The thing about riding a bike, when you do it, easy it become. And no lie, you can't lose the skill, but if you don't use it, you will definitely get a little rusty. You ain't gonna lose it, but the saying is you don't use it, you lose it. But you ain't gonna lose it, but you will become rusty. So the goal is stay productive, stay on top of it, and we're gonna keep on grinding, y'all. So appreciate y'all support. Be checking out. See y'all in the next video. Don't forget to send y'all images, like, comment, and subscribe. I know it's like 96, I think 96, 98% of people not subscribed to the channel. So appreciate everybody's support. You know what I'm saying? But I would appreciate it if y'all subscribe to the channel, like up the videos. Appreciate the support. And we are out. You hear me? And this one right here, Drew, I wanted to show you this one too, because the patience, I'm like, yeah, it's a nice tattoo looking at it, but it's not clean. When it's this bold, you got to make sure those edges is well defined. Because if they're not defined, like this small circle, see that? And this little small in the A, remember I was just talking about that, it will bleed together. Same with the E. That's not going to look like an E 5-10 years because it's going to start to close in. The ink got to spray. So it's best to just go in with a thin liner, structure all those little pieces out where you could clearly see that circle. And an easy way of doing that, instead of filing your exact stencil around those little open spots, I would say go in your stencil. Make that opening a little bit bigger. As big as you could get it without it looking weird. Because you gotta think about it, that's gotta open up and spray it. That ink gotta spray it somewhere. And you don't want it to spray through there. And the only other thing I had to say about this one is, it looked like you lined, well, it looked like you shaded with like a liner. Because you can see it's like a little bit choppy here and there. If you're going to shade with a liner, take your time. Because if you're not patient with it, with a liner, it's not going to be solid. You're just going to go through it. Look like you probably, if you did use a liner, you went over it a couple of times to where it don't really look like lines. But definitely you could use a round shade, you could use any of that, but just make sure it's black. Take your time. Like, even if you gotta take a small little bit at a time, fill that corner in black. And that will set the standard for what you need to do for the rest of your tattoo. Because if this little bit is solid black and your rest is looking like this, you'll be like, no, I gotta get this more solid. You can look at this part, because this is solid versus, oh, it got a little space here. Or it got a little bump there. Oh, we seeing ink here. I know you don't want that. You want your tattoo to be consistent throughout. But definitely appreciate it, though. Appreciate you sending the videos, Drewby. Let me know what you think about it, my feedback. Hope you take advice to it and keep grinding. That's all it is. We're supposed to help. It's not to make nobody feel down. None of that. It's all to lift us up. It's constructive criticism.